Happening now, some area schools going back to remote learning as COVID-19 continues to spread. Plus, we hear from our local representatives in Albany about his priorities during the lawmaking session.
Well, it's another cloudy day out there, but when will we see the sunshine? I'll tell you about it next. The News at Noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now, TGIF, to you and yours. I'm Justin Gould. More reaction now to the violent protests in Washington, D.C. that happened earlier this week. Congressman Tom Reed calling on everyone to come together and that lawmakers should debate as partisan, but unite as American. Speaking during a virtual press conference yesterday, he called the protests one of the most disheartening moments of his life. Reed believes all Americans reacted to the protest in about the same way, seeing fear, sadness, and disappointment. He also says lawmakers need to understand that there are millions of Americans who strongly believe that the election was not fair and honest and are sincere in their beliefs. He says those people should not be judged.
I understand where you're at. I don't judge you. I respect that decision. I will disagree with it. I will say I don't see that in the evidence. And then hopefully we can then move forward and say, look, we're at that point where there's going to be a new president. And what we need to do is engage in the election process, not walk away from it.
The congressman predicts Republicans will rise from the incident, and he urges people with different political views to find some commonalities in order to come together. The Trump administration ends in 12 days, but after those deadly riots this week, some leaders say President Trump should be removed from office before then. John Lawrence with more from Washington.
There's a new fence being erected at the Capitol. But it won't block out the memory of what happened Wednesday.
It certainly was a dark day for our democracy.
The day after inciting the crowd that stormed the Capitol, President Donald Trump denounced the rioters in a taped speech.
To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer are calling on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment, which could remove the president from office.
We are in a very difficult place in our country as long as Donald Trump still sits in the White House.
Adam Kinzinger was the first Republican House member to publicly support the idea.
The president has become unmoored, not just from his duty, nor even his oath, but from reality itself.
As the remainder of Trump's tenure is discussed, some members of the administration are resigning, including Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, and former White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, who was serving as a special envoy to Northern Ireland.
I can't do it. I can't stay. Those who choose to stay, and I have talked to a couple of them, are choosing to stay because they are concerned that the president might put someone in to replace them that could make things even worse.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. At least 23 people appeared in federal court yesterday afternoon on charges related to the riots or curfew violations. The FBI also offering up a $50,000 reward for information about the persons who placed pipe bombs outside of Republican and Democratic National Committee offices. At least 5 people died, including a woman who was shot and a Capitol police officer. Well, back here at home, 2 area schools have returned to remote learning today after new positive cases of COVID-19 are impacting the districts. Southwestern Central School and the Bemis Point Central School districts both changed their operations. Southwestern High School officials say a positive case led to multiple possible contacts. They say parents will be notified if their child is impacted and asked to quarantine. The Bemis Point district, a transportation employee there, tested positive, with all of those transportation staff identified as close contacts. They've all since been quarantined. Bemis Point Central School will remain remote due to the lack of school buses until January 19th. As we move past the holidays and students return to school, either in person or virtually, or even a mix of both, local school leaders are preparing for an increase in COVID cases. Our Claire Galt is speaking with district leaders in Jamestown about where the spread is happening.
Even though students at Jamestown Public Schools continue to come down with COVID-19, the district superintendent says schools are in a reasonably good position, all things considered. This week, nearly a dozen people connected to the district tested positive. However, Superintendent Dr. Kevin Whitaker says the spread is happening outside of the classroom.
We are not seeing some kind of crazy runaway infection process within the schools. We're not seeing a breakdown in our protocols and health expectations. Our staff has been amazing. Our students and parents have been very supportive and helping us with meeting those requirements so that we can stay open.
The school district sits within an area experiencing a high number of COVID-19 infections, which the superintendent attributes to the holiday season.
Starting with Thanksgiving, really, we saw about 10 days later a big spike of cases. And then again with Christmas, we saw a spike within a little bit of a ripple. So last week was the big spike and then a little bit of a ripple this week. And then I expect today, tomorrow, Saturday to see the spike from New Year's with a little bit of a ripple Sunday, maybe Monday, and then we'll continue on.
He believes the low positivity rate in the schools is a combination of good planning and even some good luck. Right now, all classes are taking place remotely, with the hybrid in-person learning returning next Monday. In Jamestown, Claire Gall, WNY News Now.
Claire, thank you. According to New York State data, since the pandemic began, over 76 cases have been identified within Jamestown Public Schools alone. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we continue to put facts over fear in our coverage of not just the coronavirus pandemic, but all the other news that matters to you. Good to see Lisa, good to see Brittany, Amanda, Deborah, Shelley, and Lori as well. Happy Friday to all of you. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments below. We love interacting. Good to see Joseph, Linda, Melody, and Holly as well. Now let's get a check of our first defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us now with that. Happy Friday to you, Mr. Hunter.
Happy Friday, Justin. We made it through the end of the first week of 2021, and boy, these past few days have just been absolutely nuts. I mean, you know, 2021, can we have our refund back? We had our free trial. Yeah, I know. I seen that meme yesterday. Anyway, this is a live look coming from Salamanca, and we have seen a few breaks in the cloud cover today, and that's going to continue at least through the afternoon. But the satellite and radar composite, it almost looks like a repeat of yesterday where we have just a lot of clouds around. But the good news is the clouds should partly move out of the way this afternoon, and especially getting into tomorrow. 24 is where we stand right now at the airport, 28 in Mayville, 27 Fredonia. Good afternoon to you. 29 in Harbor Creek, 30 over in Erie. So temperatures not ranging too far today, and temperatures really aren't going to budge too much from where they are now. 29 was the high yesterday. We started the day at 21, 62 and 12 below zero are the record highs and lows for this day. So through the afternoon, early clouds will partially break through the afternoon. Don't expect full sunshine, but you will see that yellow blob in the sky peeking through the clouds at times. 26 to 33. We will have a better chance of at least seeing some more sunshine tomorrow, and then it's back to the clouds for pretty much the foreseeable future. We'll talk about it in detail in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we're looking for that sun if you can, you know, make it happen.
We're trying.
You're only the messenger.
That's right.
Well, State Senator George Barrello says there are plenty of issues that New York State legislature needs to address, including the recovery of small businesses, citizens, and the economy at large. The senator tells us that he and his colleagues are introducing several pieces of legislation to address the core issues here within New York State government. Barrello explains that some of the legislation was already introduced last year but didn't make it too far. The senator says that the legislation will be key to the economic rebuild here in New York State as COVID-19 continues to be on the top of minds of many.
So many people and small businesses, our families, have been harmed in the process. And unfortunately, New York is lagging behind other states when it comes to a recovery. And we are still in the throes of this pandemic, but at the same time, we need to be focused on how best we can elevate all people in New York. And that has to start with, removing the politics and being focused on common sense measures to safely and quickly restart our economy.
He says that unemployment insurance rates will be devastating for small businesses and could be the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, as many will see doubling in their rates. The senator adds that he has several bills he will introduce in an effort to address the rates and other issues that will continue to impact small businesses. Well, when you're $15 billion in debt, you look to make more money. That's why New York governor is weighing in on several options to find the funds, including making mobile sports betting legal. Governor Andrew Cuomo this week says he plans to announce new legislation during his upcoming State of the State address that would allow the state's gambling commission to elect and license a sports operator or platform to offer mobile sports wagering in the state. He says the operator or platform would have a partnership with one of the existing licensed commercial casinos. Sports wagering is now legal online in 14 states, including bordering states of New Jersey and nearby Pennsylvania. Currently, New York is only legal at 4 upstate commercial gambling facilities and some Native American gambling facilities as well.
They basically allow casinos to run their own gambling operations. That makes a lot of money for casinos, but it makes minimal money for the state. And I'm not here to make casinos a lot of money. I'm here to raise funds for the state.
The commission will also require any entity operating mobile wagering apps to safeguard against abuses and addiction. Earlier this week, the governor announced his plan to legalize recreational marijuana in an attempt to raise additional revenue as well. Well, next we have a lot more to tell you about. Here's a new program that could help you save some money while shopping in the community here locally. But first, the latest efforts to distribute the COVID-19 vaccine in Chautauqua County. That and more next as WNY News Now continues on this Friday.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And welcome back. 7 new deaths connected to COVID-19 were reported in Cattaraugus County overnight. The health department there says a 65-year-old man, 77-year-old man, 81-year-old man, 81-year-old woman, and an 86-year-old man, along with an 87-year-old woman and 83-year-old woman, all died from respiratory failure. Since the outbreak started, there have been 60 deaths linked to the virus there in the county. It is the highest amount of deaths reported in a single day. In the latest update, leaders also reported 59 new cases of the virus, with 506 now active. Here in Chautauqua County, a new COVID-19 death and 62 new cases of the virus were reported yesterday. Well, the Chautauqua County Health Department has successfully held its first point of distribution, also known as a pod, for the COVID-19 vaccine this week. That's according to Public Health Director Christine Schuyler, who spoke with us yesterday. She explained that those who qualified for Phase 1 of New York's vaccine distribution plan have been vaccinated. A second pot is scheduled for this Saturday. The public health director says mass vaccination in a pandemic requires close collaboration between public health, external agencies, and community partners, especially as hospitals are required to administer their own vaccines to their workers. Schuyler says she doesn't believe that hospitals should be necessarily responsible for vaccinating the general public, though.
I feel that hospitals have been required to do something that many of them, none of them knew they had to do. Many of them don't know how to do and don't have the capacity to do. Their main priority right now is to care for their patients. It's one thing to have to vaccinate your own staff, and that is fully acceptable. But to have clinics where outside populations are going now to come into your hospital to get vaccinated by hospital staff who are already very busy isn't necessarily the best approach.
A full list of those who qualified for the first phase of vaccination can be found on our website at WNYNewsNow.com. While 2 coronavirus vaccines do continue to roll out here, 2 new variants of the virus have emerged. So, can our current vaccinations fight this new strain? Health correspondent Mandy Gaither explains.
2 new variants of the coronavirus seem to make the virus more easily spread. One, first identified in Britain, has already been discovered in the U.S. While doctors worried it might have mutated enough to evade vaccine protection, the evidence now suggests it has not. However, the jury's still out on the second new variant first seen in South Africa.
We don't want that strain to start running around the world and causing more damage.
Dr. William Schaffner, former CDC official and professor of infectious diseases at Vanderbilt University, says over the next few weeks, virologists will be studying to see how much of a match there is between this new variant first identified in South Africa and our vaccines. Scientists say it has to do with where the changes are and how they affect the shape and function of the virus. All current vaccines target what is known as the spike protein, the structure the virus uses to get into the cells it attacks. But mutations that change the way that spike protein looks can also help hide it from the immune system, making antibodies less effective.
If there's not a match or there's sufficient deviation, then the manufacturers will have to go back to work and create yet another vaccine, hopefully one that will cover both strains.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. All viruses do mutate, which is why vaccines like the one for the flu are changed each year. But some scientists say encouraging coronavirus vaccination so far is a clear solution to defeating any potential mutations in the virus. Well, a new app that aims to help shoppers save money and reduce food waste is now available to shoppers at Tops Friendly Markets here in Chautauqua County. The grocery chain expanded its use of an app called Flash Food. In the app, you will find a variety of items like produce, baked goods, meats, and more that are close to the sell-by date. You can buy any of those at half or even better reduced rates. Tops expanded the program in the last couple of weeks. Shoppers can now use the app at 33 locations around Western New York. Last August, Tops tried out the app at 6 of their stores near Buffalo. From August through December, 1,000 shoppers helped save 30,000 pounds of waste in local landfills. Great to hear. Thanks so much for joining us for WNY News Now on this Friday. Let's check in with the comments and see how everyone's doing. Good to see Cindy. Great to see Chris. Good to see Maddie, William, and Alicia as well. Hopefully you are all having a wonderful day. We appreciate you so much for joining us. Well, now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's in the First Defense Weather Center this afternoon. And Dakota, this week, weather-wise, has been pretty dreary. out there.
Yes, it has been. I mean, the clouds have really just taken over the sky over the past week or so. Let's get right into it and wanted to explain why it has been chilly around here. Well, a lot of it has to do with the cloud cover. And what happens is, and you know, we talk about this a lot, is the cloud cover kind of acts like a roadblock. So what happens is we have the sun right here. The sun's solar rays obviously comes from space and hits planet Earth, and that usually warms up the air. But when we have a layer of clouds like we've had over the past several days, it kind of acts as a roadblock, and all that solar energy is bounced off the clouds back up into space, so we can't warm up very much. And that's actually confirmed here. Out of the past 38 days, only 4 of them have seen days where it's been sunny, where we've had sunshine. Every other day, basically since December 1st, has been cloudy. So it's clugly. It's cloudy and ugly together. We just made up a word, so if I was on Password, Dr. Rezene Goodwin would be hitting that buzzer right about now, because that's not a word, but we just coined it. It took all of 15 seconds to come up with it, and that's what it's worth. 24 degrees right now in Jamestown with a north wind, 5, and the wind chill is down to 18 degrees. So bundle up out there, because temperatures aren't going to be warming up very much past here. Wanted to show you Future Scan because, as we told you yesterday, there is going to be a few peaks of sunshine. Watch Future Scan try to break the clouds apart later this afternoon. We're not going to see full sunshine today. The model has actually gotten more in basically in line with what I told you yesterday, how there was going to be a few patches of breaks in the cloud cover. But tomorrow we should see more sunshine. Again, not full sunshine tomorrow, but we will see the clouds thinning out a little bit more than we have today. So do expect a bit more sunshine tomorrow, maybe partly sunny skies. If you see mostly sunny skies, I think the better chance of that is going to be, especially in Erie County, Pennsylvania. That'll likely be the best chance for seeing mostly sunny skies. And then the clouds return again as we go into Sunday and pretty much throughout much of next week. AFC wild card game. It's the Bills playoff game for the wild card tomorrow at Bills Stadium in Orchard Park. Temperatures hovering around freezing, 33 at kickoff, 34 at 2, and by the time we head into the fourth quarter, around 34 degrees. So there's not going to be any weather hassles to contend with. So if you're one of the lucky few who are getting to go to that game, it's not going to be anything too bad to at least in the weather department there. So this storm system is actually moving off the northeast coast right here, off the east coast. Even though high pressure is built in, again, with the winds coming from the north, we still have those clouds socked in across the area. And it's not until we shift the wind direction tomorrow when we do actually start to see the clouds moving out of the way. So zone forecast today, some partial sunshine, but chilly though. Temperatures maybe only upper 20s for most of the area. Now, in high definition, the next 7 days of your life, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, 32 tomorrow. So a bit of sun today, a little bit more tomorrow, partial breaks on Sunday, but mostly cloudy, a yawn fest on Monday, and look at the pattern through much of next week. Really quiet, so it's basically boring weather with temperatures hanging out in the lower to mid 30s. We will take a break and be right back. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smoking deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
lights, vests,
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. When you need help,
it's our job
to help you.
To save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please.
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
Move over.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
The mother of a special education student at Maple Grove High School is speaking out.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
And Lake Erie is covered in less than 1% of ice as this winter season has entered its peak.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. In an effort to help animals find their forever home, we're partnering with the Chautauqua County Humane Society in a segment called the Pet of the Week. Joining us live is Amanda Sublett to talk more about this week's featured furry friend. Happy New Year, Amanda. Thanks so much for connecting with us today.
Hi, Justin. All right, so today I have my buddy Sage here. He's about 2 years old, looking for his new home for the holidays. So if that doesn't tell you, he is a lover. He is a lap dog, but he's also pretty active. He does get independent when he's out and on his own, sniffing the yard. So that's why we're hanging out here today, so you guys can get a good look. But he loves to go on adventures. He's very social. Not a fan of cats. He is dog friendly, but we want to make sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he does look like a lover, Amanda. Wow. So would he be, obviously you mentioned a cat-free home. How is he with children? Is there a certain age group that you think would be better?
We are looking at kids who are going to be a little bit older, so he can be pretty active and a little bit rambunctious. We're working on some training with him. Those little guys, he's just going to knock over accidentally, and we really don't want anybody getting hurt. Well, although it may be unintentional, we just have everybody's safety in mind. So just the older children, he'll be fine.
Right. Certainly a lot of larger dogs, and it looks like Sage is no exception. You know, he's in a bigger body, but he thinks he's one of those little lap dogs.
Every big dog wants to be a lap dog.
Yeah, why not? It's such a fun thing. So, oh gosh, yeah, he really does. It seems like he's a great companion, and I imagine with the new year, obviously winter now, but a lot of people might be looking to try to get outside more into the spring. And what better way than to get a dog who's going to want to go on a you-know-what?
And you know what? He loves the snow, so even better.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, to learn more about our friend Sage here, or anyone else who's at the Chautauqua County Humane Society, all you got to do is give them a call at 716-665-2209 or visit chqhumane.org. If you sign up to start the application, you could even meet our furry friend here today. Amanda, thank you so much. Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to Brian behind the camera as well.
Happy New Year.
All right, certainly we love having our furry friends on the show, and it's really been great to still have them here, Dakota, throughout the pandemic, where we've lost touch sometimes. I remember Brian used to come in and he'd bring great friends in, but
and he had the pets who would come in. They were always
rabbits,
loving us
cats,
all over the place.
Dogs. It was so fun. They loved the newsroom because there was always something good to eat. That's the
right.
That's the thing. So certainly we appreciate them. So chqhumane.org. That's the place to go if you're looking for a friend. And there are so many great dogs, and sometimes when you talk about shelter dogs, and I don't like that word, but you get this stereotype. And they're so great, the animals that they have there. My family, that's all we've ever adopted. And you will make a friend for life, and dogs are so loyal. Cats, much more independent, give you the
Cats just don't like you.
They do.
They just want to be left alone.
I went to my mom's yesterday, actually, to get some mail that was sent there. And I saw my lifelong cat. Her name is Mitty. And the second I came in, she was super friendly. Like she misses me. That's most times, unless she's in a mood or something, And probably about 15 minutes into the petting, she's like, okay, you can leave now. Like she was like, bye. Like she walked away and was done with it. So but,
my cat used to do that. She would be like, you know, give me pets.
Right.
And then you'd pet her, and then all of a sudden she'd get up, look at you, and walk away. Right. Be like, okay, I'm done. Goodbye.
Right. Absolutely.
See you in an hour.
Right. I'll be back when.
That's right.
Well, we thank you all for joining us here for WNY News Now. That's going to do it for our broadcast this week. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNY News Now. We hope to see Courtney, Bob, Renee, and Barb back here on Monday. Renee says, seems like he loves nature and would be good to give a lot of hugs. Yeah, absolutely. So if you can, log on chhumane.org. We'll leave you with this live look over downtown Jamestown. Of course, news continues all weekend long on our website at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great one.